everything you're supposed to teach a girl. That's kind of how I feel.
Mom is Miss Documentary, because me and my friends that would come over, my best friend, she'd always come over. And right before college, she made us watch The Hunting Ground, which is like about college rape and everything. So after that, me and my friend were very traumatized when we got to school.
Did you say college rape?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, rape and
The
everything.
Hunting
We were
Ground?
traumatized.
Damn.
Is that the one about the serial killer at the college at like UF or something?
Not the killer. It was. Did Lady Gaga make a documentary?
Yeah, it was a document by Lady Gaga had funded it, but it was a documentary talking about the new rape titles for the schools and which schools, like all the different schools, about the rape culture and things like that. Just how girls could protect themselves, things that happened to other girls, how the schools weren't having the backs of the victims and different things like that. And I showed them these. I show them these documentaries and things, and I like to talk to them about it.
No, that's good.
To try to teach them, like, okay, so not to do this, and not to do this. And I know, being a woman, we should be able to do anything that we want to do without the fear of getting hurt or someone doing stuff to us. But that's not the world we live in. Oh, sorry. But that's not the world we live in. We don't live in that world where we can just take a drink from somebody, or, even your own friends, you have to be, leery of it.
Yep.
And then the girls also always complain. I never let them go spend the night at people's houses too much because I didn't know them. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who was in their house. Right. And I didn't do that. Their friends could come over here mainly. I'd let, when I got to know the families a little bit better, when the kids got older, then I would kind of let them go spend the night. But I would talk to them, and I'm like, if anyone does anything to you, you tell me. I don't care what the person says, what the person threatens you. If he says he's going to, burn our house down, if he says he's going to kill our dogs, if he says he's going to hurt me, I don't care. You tell me, no matter what.
That's good, Kim.
And I always also put that into them.
Yeah, it's definitely good when you have girls not to take any chances. You can't take any chances, not ever. Oh,
exactly.
So Kim,
exactly.
How has it been? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And we've watched also a lot of documentaries. Like, we watched The Four Black Girls, and I can't even remember half of it. We watched Roots. We've watched so many different African movies, and I talk to them about it. We'll have a dialogue, and I even their friend that's Caucasian, and I drag her butt in, and I make her watch the stuff too.
Yeah, we had a movie night.
So Kennedy, how has that experience been for you? Because I know I have a niece who's biracial. Her mom is white, and my brother's black, but they live in England, and when she came to visit once, when she was when I was a little younger, I was probably in my Malcolm X phase or whatever. But
Malcolm X,
well, you read the books and stuff. When you start to read,
you're a fighter. Okay.
Well, you when you become aware,
Woke.
of
yes,
kind of thing. So at a younger age, which is different from when you're an adult. But anyway, so my niece, her parents had never talked to her about race, and in England, it's a little bit different, a little bit better than it is here. And so I brought up some things to her, and I don't think they sent her back after her. So
now they traumatized the poor girl.
No, I didn't. I just enlightened her. No, I didn't. I opened her eyes.
You thought you opened her eyes,
but her parents, her brother and my sister, they never talked to her about anything like that, and they knew that there were differences.
They
or whatever.
don't. They don't, and that's the problem. I think I don't mean to generalize it, but I think there's a difference when the mothers are black. I feel like when you have a black mother, that they kind of teach their kids a little bit more about their blackness than if it was a Caucasian mother.
Right, because they have to put a lot more effort into it. Yeah, they have to, because it's not the life that they live, so they have to put more effort into finding out information and learning in order to teach their child.
That's a true statement.
Right. Yes, because I'm in some groups to talk about that. Yeah.
And then I think that it's weird because I know like the girls, they'll say, they mainly identify as black, but they're considered biracial, which they know they're biracial, and they do say, oh, I'm biracial, but they have a lot of standpoints as a Black person.
Right.
You know,
well,
about race.
Oh wait, Kennedy, what were you saying, Kennedy?
I'm saying we were just raised as like Black individuals because like our whole family is primarily Black, right? And like we didn't even though
the
like
family that you were raised around, I guess, because your dad's family's in another area, most of them.
But Ryan, Kennedy, would you really say that? Because our family is completely mixed. Our family is completely mixed up.
Well, yeah,
we're mixed up with so many people.
Yeah,
but everyone in our family is not fair skinned, though. You know, so like, Laura, Dawn, all my cousins and grandma, and
just
the only ones that really was when dad's parents or my grandparents and everything. That's really
Right,
and then they passed away when they were young.
Oh, okay. So you were mostly. That's what I'm saying. You were mostly
a lot of my cousins.
So you were mostly raised around your mom's family, right? Which is Black people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all, we are mixed because we have white, we have all kind of ethnicities, Indian, all kind in our family.
I mean, we're still, like, everyone else still is, like, no one's really super fair or anything like that.
Yeah. And then I know that I remember one time when John, he came home.
Your husband.
And then he was like, my husband. He's like, you're always teaching them about Black history. Why don't you teach them about Irish history? And I was like, do I look Irish to you?
The funniest thing I've ever heard.
And then what was his response?
That's what I said. I said, if you want to teach them about Irish history, you can teach them about Irish history, but do I look Irish? I said, no, I don't look Irish.
So Candy, did your dad ever talk to you about any Irish history?
You know, that's a good question.
That means no.
I mean, he might have, but honestly, I don't really remember. I just know our last name is like super Irish.
Yeah, and then he also he
it is. Yeah, we don't have our spelling is not the CH, which I believe is the Americanized.
American, yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I never thought about that. You're right. Yeah. Never thought
but we could apparently because I had a teacher who was very I guess he was straight from Ireland or something like that. But he had this infographic of the original Irish tribes and stuff, and Murdoch was one of the names, but it was spelt with the CK.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So he
and I remember. Sorry, when I was younger, they messed up all my last name stuff and put CH.
Really? They just changed it for you?
They did it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So we would change that. We're like, no, it's CK, because everyone's like, no. I'm like, it's not C, it's CK, and I'm like, I don't know. That's supposedly the original Irish version of it. And then they just look at me because usually it's me filling out the forms and stuff.
So Kennedy, Kennedy, right now with all the stuff that's going on in the world, how do you feel like you I guess what's your perspective, or how do you think you fit into everything, and how do you engage that with the world? Like, how do you deal with all the stuff that's going on as someone who's biracial, who, even though you mostly may identify as Black, but you still have the other side, and you hear the other side. Sometimes you hear some of those views from the other side, knowing that you're biracial. How is that?
So it's kind of weird because there are some people it's really weird. I would say my perspective is more from what makes sense, and I think that at least racism, it just doesn't make sense. And with that as how I identify with myself. Sorry, I'm trying to think this through. So it's hard because I just feel a lot for it, and it's just, I don't know. It hurts my feelings. It's seeing everything that's happening and stuff.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just kind of crazy because there's a lot of people that from the 2016 election that I thought were my friends, and I think that it was with everything that's kind of going on.
Sorry.
With everything that's kind of going on, I think it was a big wake-up call because what my mom said, she always showed us documentaries and everything and all that stuff, and we could have not really that we didn't know it exists, because like I've seen things that happened to my mother that was racial profiling before, and that like hurt my feelings and stuff, but I never, at least in terms of things that would happen with my mom, or it wasn't super common.
All right. So wait, go back real quick. So you mentioned like some of your friendships, have deteriorated or were impacted from the election. Do you mind expanding on any of that or any kind of situations?
Yeah. So a lot of people, growing up, we like in Oviedo, I would say, Mom, it's like a high white population, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was a big white population in my schools and stuff. I mean, they were like not super diverse. Like there was maybe like 2 Asian kids. I mean, obviously a fair amount of like Spanish people and like some black people, and then there was like, primarily like white. So all my friends ended up, not all of them, but a lot of them were white and everything. And, it's just like when you're around being just like, it's different, but I still like identified as a black person. And then getting in high school with the elections and stuff that were going on, I just saw a lot of people saying like, build that wall. And they're saying you need like, it's just a lot of like things that I didn't think I would hear out of people like discriminating against other people. And it was kind of crazy. So it was like a big, I would say like eye opener. And I stopped kind of associating myself with those people
right.
after I heard like that stuff, because it's
hurtful.
It was kind of crazy.
It's very hurtful.
And I don't know if you remember too, like in at their high school. I remember when my middle child went, and it was after the elections. I can't remember what they wrote on the wall in the bathroom. It was something like y'all ends are
derogatory.
Yeah, like y'all ends are getting ready to be slaves again.
Oh man, dang.
After Trump had won, and then I remember my middle one, she took a picture of it on the wall in the bathroom, and then she sent it to me. And then I remember I was like, oh, okay. And so I called the school, and then also I sent that picture to my cousin. And then I think my cousin either posted it on Facebook or sent it to like the newspaper or sent it to the news or something. And they did a report on it.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, that was like literally like the week after he was elected. Oh. And it like, and everything changed. Even like the conversations that I had, like when I met and married my husband, okay, don't do this, you guys. Make sure you know someone for a good long time before you marry them. Like, don't just like know them for like, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, and then get married, because that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
but you loved him. You know how it works. But I loved him.
Yeah, exactly. I was totally in love. Oh, I loved him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there were things that were like a warning sign, and they were flashing, because I had also worked for his family at the time, and
but Daddy can't help his family.
His grandmother never talked to black people.
Oh, wow.
On his mom's side. So I had worked at the place, and the grandmother would be there sometimes. And so you'd be in the kitchen, you'd come in the kitchen sometimes, because they had like a group home and we took care of kids. And so you'd be in the kitchen, and so this old lady comes in and she'll see you, but it's like she don't see you. She never said anything to you. And I'm like, well, if she ain't saying anything to me, I ain't saying nothing to her. So I wouldn't talk to this old lady. So it's because she didn't like black people. And then I remember after my husband and I got married, she was at his mom's house, and I was over there that day. And so she was on the couch, and I think I was on like the couch or something. And then there was like a soap opera that was on or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, something was going on with the soap opera. So I was like talking to myself about it. And then so she was like, oh, well, you watched that? And da-da-da. And I was like, oh, yeah, my mom, watched this. And that's where my name came from, which is so stupid, from one of the soap opera
Your mom loved the soaps for sure.
Yes. Yes. She named me Kim from the soap opera. I think all my children are young.